So I'm going to be starting with this line as my shoulder line and this line unfold as my center front, and next I'm going to start by marking my armhole length. My armhole length I'm using is 8 inches. I'm going to mark that and square that out. Next is the bust length. The bust length I'm working with is 10 inches. I'm going to mark down 10 inches and I square that out. This is the chest line, and the one I'm doing now is the bust line. The bust line I'm using is 10 inches. I'm going to square this out and mark it. Next is the length of the crop top, which is 17 inches. I'm going to mark that there. Next is to mark around the body measurement. This is the line of the bust line here. So on the armhole line, I'm going to divide the bust by 4, and on the waistline I'm going to divide that by 4 and add 1 inch easing allowance to that, or that allowance. Let's call it that allowance because it's not, we're going to be taking that out. So add 1 inch that allowance to the waistline, and I'm going to connect this line. Next is to mark down the bust line, which is bust span divided by 2. I'm going to mark it and connect it to this bust line. And on the bust line, I'm going to be coming down 1 inch so I can be able to mark my dart. I'm going to be making 1 inch dart on the waistline, and I will connect it here like so. Next is to draw the neckline. The neckline I'm using, the neckline width is 3 inches. Neckline depth is 3.5 inches. I'll mark this and draw the neckline. Next is to draw the halter neck line. So I'm going to be connecting the neckline to the bust line to make the halter neck line. So on this line I'm going to be marking that. I'm making this 1 inch dart. I'll be using the bust line as my guide, which is 3.5 inches. So that's the guide I'm using. With this, the front is ready. Next we're going to do is to draft the back. Drafting the back, I'm just only going to be adding 3 inches extra to the side, and I'm going to connect this like so to give it a curve for the armhole so that it has a smooth curve there. So this is the back. If you want it to have a princess line, you can connect this to this, but I'm not going to be connecting this. I'm going to be working this like this because I have a sewing tips and tricks I would like to share with you. Make sure you watch till the end so that you see the tips. I have a lot of tips I'm going to share on this, so make sure you watch till the end. I'll be adding sewing allowances to this and then cut out. As you can see, I've added all the sewing allowances and I made sure the one on the neck is 0.25. I also have cut this out with the main fabric and the lining fabric. I'm going to be showing you a tips on how to transfer the dart to your dress, to your materials. So just watch what I'm going to do. So I've already started sewing when I decided I'm going to be making this tutorial a cutting and stitching, so bear with me. We're going to be starting here. So another tips is when you sew your darts, you make sure you cut off the excess so you have it like so. So I'm going to be trimming off this uneven edges. I'm going to trim it off both on the lining and on the main fabric. So sew along with me because I'm going to be sharing a lot of tips and tricks while stitching this dress. So let me leave you to concentrate and watch the stitching.